Jesus Christ and Buddha are seated on a grassy hill, overlooking a calm lake as the sun begins to set. The air is filled with the soft rustle of leaves and the distant sound of flowing water. Their auras emanate peace and wisdom. Jesus Christ. The stillness of this place reminds me of the peace I offer through faith, peace that surpasses all understanding. It is the calm within the storm, where the soul finds rest in the Father's love. Do you find such stillness in your practice, Siddhartha? Buddha, yes, stillness is at the heart of meditation. By quieting the mind, one can touch the space where suffering does not reach. In that space, we glimpse the truth of our existence, free from attachment and desire. Jesus Christ, you speak of detachment, of freeing oneself from worldly desires. I teach that we must live in the world, but not be of the world, giving ourselves to love, to others, yet not letting the material bind our hearts. How do you balance compassion for others with the detachment you seek? Buddha, compassion and detachment are not opposed. True compassion arises when one lets go of attachment to self. When I see the suffering of others, I do not cling to their pain as my own, but I act with love to alleviate it. This is the middle way, neither clinging nor indifference. Jesus Christ, I see. To love fully without the burden of self, this is how I, too, walk. I teach my followers to love their enemies, to turn the other cheek. But it is not easy to love without expecting love in return. How do you teach others to release such expectations? Buddha, expectations are born of desire, of the mind clinging to a certain outcome. Through mindfulness, one can observe the rise of expectation and let it go, like a leaf falling into the stream. In this way, we practice non-attachment, but we continue to offer love. The love you speak of, it flows freely when there is no grasping. Jesus Christ. Yes, it is love that flows freely, without condition, that brings the kingdom of heaven closer. I teach that by loving and serving others, we serve the Father. The love I offer is grace, a gift that no one can earn, but is given freely to those who open their hearts. Buddha, your grace is the key to liberation for many. In my path, the effort to awaken comes from within, from one's own inside. But perhaps this grace you speak of, this love that is given freely, could be another way of guiding others toward enlightenment. Jesus Christ. Indeed, grace and enlightenment may be different words for the same liberation. You see, I offer grace through faith, faith in the Father and in the light I bring. It is through that faith that one finds peace, just as your followers find peace through mindfulness and detachment. Buddha, faith and mindfulness both require trust. Trust in something beyond the mind's grasp, whether it be the grace of your Father or the realization of emptiness and interdependence. Trust allows us to let go of fear and suffering. Jesus Christ. Yes, trust allows us to surrender, to find strength in the Father's love. For when we trust fully, even in the face of suffering, we find that we are not alone. I carried the cross, and in that moment of deepest suffering, I trusted in the Father's will. And through that trust, life was renewed. Buddha, your suffering became a path to liberation for others, just as mine led me to awaken from the cycle of birth and death. Suffering, though painful, can be a teacher. It shows us the impermanence of all things and points to the need for awakening. Jesus Christ. Suffering does indeed lead us to deeper truths. In my path, I teach that suffering is redemptive when embraced with love. Through my suffering, I offered a way for humanity to return to the Father. It is the sacrifice of love that transforms suffering into salvation. Buddha, and I teach that by understanding suffering, By seeing its causes clearly, we can transcend it. There is no need for sacrifice, only insight. But your sacrifice, the love you poured into the world, has inspired many to live with greater compassion and devotion.